out there to come out to. You know, I was watching the video at the back, and I've seen the video a few times, but I guess it doesn't lose its effect, and the impact that it has today is just as mesmerizing as when I first saw it 4 months ago. And it makes me think of all the millions of days that I spent in the field, the many different challenges that I dealt with, the many different times when I had to, I guess, look at myself in the mirror, or sometimes look at myself standing at a bus stop or wherever I was and remind myself that I was good enough to go all the way, and the dream that I had, I was able to achieve it, and the ability that was required was deep inside me, and I had to find the hero or the winner in me, and it was there. I just had to look for it. That video reminds me of that. It reminds me of the start of my career in the company, which was clearly crazy. But I realized very early on in my life that there was something special that was happening here. I could see the purpose in people's eyes in the company. There was many leaders, some of them for the first times in their lives, that had ever had a job, that had never done anything like this before. And I could see the desire in their voice. I could feel the desire in their voice, I should say. I could see the hunger in their actions. I could see the determination when they were ready to work for 12, 13, and 14 hours a day. And it inspired me. It inspired me to believe in my goals. It inspired me and galvanized me together with them to fight, to achieve what I believe I deserved in my life. Many with no experience, just like me. I found some amazing things out about myself whilst I've been in the company. I found that I've got a strange connection with people, one that I never knew I could have. When I speak, many can feel the passion in my voice, but they can see the hunger in my eyes, as I felt in the others when I was newer. And that's special. I learned that I loved people, and that no amount of money could account for that, and that I would always put them first. I learned that I wanted to succeed, but I didn't want to succeed alone. I wanted to do it together. I wanted to succeed, but I wanted to take the people that were with me all the way. I learned that about myself. I learned that I had tenacity that I never knew. And I learned that there's this strange sense of pride and dignity in not giving up on your goal. I learned that fighting for the extra inch sometimes makes you the most proud person you can be. I learned that there is a value in believing in what other people don't believe in. Standing out from the crowd and being different has a price. And when you're ready to pay the price, the rewards are huge and unbelievable. I learned that very earlier on. I learned that I could conquer my fears and that I had a real instinct to succeed. And above all, I learned something. And what I learned, that when you singularly focus on something and you take away the day-to-day negatives and the inevitable bullshit that we deal with, you take away the different challenges that we face, and you channel your mind in one direction, amazing things can happen. And what's really, really crazy about that is many a time people would come to me and say, Ali, why weren't you at that wedding? Where were you? You know, my family would come to me going, you've got to come for this birthday. How could you miss this? It's at 7 p.m. And I knew I had a new guy on my team that needed me at that particular moment. Many a time when people said to me, where were you that weekend? And my friends would go, you're boring, you never come out anymore. And I knew that I had to sacrifice. And I knew at that time in my life, everyone has a particular time in your life. It's a portion of your life where you've got to singularly focus in on your goal. Because I knew if I could hit my goal, because if I could get there, if I could hit what I wanted to hit, everything else would be looked after. And today, I'm in that position. That if I wanted to, I could give time to my family. I could give them the love that I need. I could give them the time that I need. But I don't have to worry about anything else. There's no consequences about money. Because American Express looks after that. There's no consequences about payment and stuff. Because when you're on £40,000 a month in overrides, it doesn't matter. There's no consequence of, you got to work tonight, because I don't. There's no consequence of, oh, you got to come in on this day. I don't. There's no consequence of, you got to pay yourself this much money. I pay myself what I want to pay myself. And no one can tell me to do anything differently or apart from that. And that is power. But for those years, when I faced those challenges, and I had to really tunnel vision my brain into hitting my goal, that's what I'm getting paid for today. And of course, there's going to be inevitable negatives. There's going to be false starts along the way. And sometimes you feel like your spirit's a bit hurt. Your knees are gashed and your head's bleeding. And you look at the mountain and there's a rock coming towards you. And you question yourself to whether it's worth climbing and going up the hill. Whether it's worth taking the next step. Whether it's worth putting a bandage on and going for it again. You question yourself. And I've got some answers to why I feel it's worth it. It's worth it because I made £72,000 in overrides in the last 2 months. It's worth it. 72. It's worth it.
Come on, Ali.
I'm better than you.
You can do it. Go on, Ali.
It's worth it because it's worth it for some of the reasons that when you succeed in this, it gives you stuff you would never dream of. I was flying first class the other day. We go to New York. I'm in the Concord Lounge. Guys like, what would you like to drink? I'm like, Johnny Walker Blue Label. It's a 120 pound bottle. I drank pretty much 75% of the bottle on my own at the bar. Guys like, you want any more? I'm like, load it in. For every time the customer said no to me, here's another drink. It was incredible. I turned around. And there's Gerard Butler sitting next to me. And I felt like saying, what's your profession? Oh. He was there. I was like, it's Gerard Butler. Next to me. Hello. This is mad. Michael rang me from New York. He goes, I'm just on the plane with the Rolling Stones. I was like, the Rolling Stones? Are you shitting me? Like Mick Jagger? He goes, yeah. Mick Jagger was right there. That's unbelievable. Like the freaking Rolling Stones. They invented rock and roll. Like I just want to see them and like bash up a hotel room with them. Right. Oh, you succeeded. I'll pay the bill this time. Still. Right. It's worth it because you do the stuff that you dream about doing. You know, I was on holiday the other day, and a guy comes up to me and goes, are you in bungalow number 5? I'm like, yeah, I'm in bungalow number 5. Michael's there. He goes, you got to buy this bottle of champagne. I go, why do I need to buy this bottle? It's like $2,000 bottle. He goes, you've got to have this, because the guy that stays here normally always gets this bottle. I'm like, well, he's not staying here this time. So I'm not buying the bottle. He goes, just so you know, it's George Clooney. That's his bungalow. That's where he stays normally. And all I could think to myself sitting there was, that was me. And I'm here. It's mad. You know, the things that you dream about, not the person that lived there, but the luxury and the freedom and the bank account and the fear factor. And the biggest reason why I feel that it's worth it is because you have no fear. Because you're not fearful of anything. No one can touch your house. Your income is solidified. You can't be made redundant. That's security. You can't be told you can't have it because you can afford it. You can't be told, you know, people have quality time and quantity time. This time you have quality time. You have time where you can give your family and your friends everything that you truly want from your heart. And that's important. And that's worth fighting for. That's worth believing in. That's worth going the extra mile for. That's worth standing up when it's raining heavily as it has been in the last 2 days, in getting wet for, that's worth changing your life for, that's worth going for it. Because it's special. But special things don't come easily. You've got to go against the grain if you want something special. You've got to be ready to be different. And I was different. And initially people laughed at me when I was different. They were like, oh, he's different. He doesn't come home, you're never there. You have no time. All right, tell me that now on 40 G's a month. You know? I've got loads of time now. What do you want to do with it? All right, let's do it. People are like, you're so boring nowadays. I'm going first class. I'm like, you want to come? They're like, oh, we can't do that. I'm like, you're so boring. Success changes people's attitudes. Your attitude has got to come first. Your belief has got to come first. Your love for you and your people has got to come first. Your desire to win has got to come first. Your hunger for success has got to come first. Before I end, I want to thank some people for helping me. Above all, I want to thank you, silence. Thank you all that quiet period of my time when I was on my own. I want to thank those moments where I just me, and I felt like the world was against me and I was fighting it out. And it was just me, giving it everything that I had. And the reason I want to thank silence is because you taught me something. You taught me that it's more about what's inside me that matters than anything else, and that I make the difference. You taught me that. You taught me that in tough times, my spirit counts, and I count, and I make the difference. I want to thank you, fear, because you taught me something. You taught me that I was ready for a fight. You taught me that I could conquer you. You taught me that I could come in and do stuff that I never thought was possible. You taught me that for every 2 punches you could land, I could land 3. Thank you. I want to thank frustration. You taught me something. You taught me how to channel you in the right direction. And I channeled that frustration. And I put it into the right direction. And it helped me to succeed. You taught me that. You taught me to give it everything that I had and take in all the anger and that energy and channel it into training and building people. Thank you. I want to say thank you for those that doubted me. You made me more convinced. You made me more confident. You gave me more desire to win than I could ever dreamt of. I want to say thank you. I want to thank you for those that gave up on their goals. You inspired me to be different. You reminded me that whilst you gave up on your goal, I would never do that. You reminded me that I was different. You reminded me that this guy standing here today was not going to give up on his goal because he believed the success was never going to be that far, and if you keep going and you keep fighting, surely that can't be that far from victory. Thank you for listening.